Getting into an accelerator can drastically change the trajectory of your startup. As a program director at TinySeed, I've reviewed thousands of applications, and I've noticed 4 commonalities among founders that go on to find a lot of success in our program. In this video, I'll share a few signs that you might be a great fit for an accelerator like TinySeed. I'll also share my number 1 signal that to me says a founder is not ready for a program like TinySeed. But before we get to the list, first let's define what exactly is a startup accelerator. A startup accelerator is a program that helps early stage businesses grow faster than they normally would have by themselves by providing resources such as education, mentorship, a network, and oftentimes funding. Accelerators are often industry specific. So for example, TinySeed focuses on B2B SaaS companies and usually are in exchange for equity, making them long-term partners in your business. All right, so let's get to my list. Number 1, you know your numbers and you're focusing on the right ones. There's a lot of metrics that you could and probably are tracking in your business, but some metrics are a little bit more important than others. At TinySeed, a few of the metrics that we tend to focus on, especially in applications, are MRR, churn, and LTV or ACV. So that's lifetime value or annual contract value. And that's because these are metrics that show us a general picture of how your business is performing. At the same time, there's a lot of metrics that really don't give you as much of a full picture view. Some people call these vanity metrics. At TinySeed, we have a founder who lovingly coined these candy metrics. And I really love this term because it kind of captures how these metrics can be attractive or tasty to consume, but they don't really have a lot of nutritional value. So these metrics would be things like email subscribers, free trial users, or unique visitors. And while these are really interesting metrics, without the full context of how they're growing your paid users, they're just not as useful. Number 2, you're experimenting, especially when it comes to marketing and sales. The founders that I see go on to find the most success are the ones that are spending a lot of time experimenting, tweaking, and just generally working on finding the right marketing and sales channels for their business. An accelerator is going to be able to help you with your general strategy and improving your marketing sales, but ultimately, it's your job as the founder to implement the knowledge that you're getting from the program. Of course, you don't need to be a marketing expert by any means, but you should be spending time messing around, trying out new channels, just seeing what's working in the business. Something I tend to see a lot in founders, especially technical founders, is a tendency to want to focus on just building the next feature because marketing isn't their core skill set. And I get it. I used to be a founder myself and I was the builder type, and marketing and sales scared the crap out of me. But ultimately, these are skill sets that you need to build and get out of your comfort zone. Number 3, you're coachable. So in my mind, coachability is 2 things. It's 1, that you're going to use the resources being provided to you, and 2, that you are vulnerable. As an accelerator, we have a lot of resources that we know can help grow your business. But on your side, we need you to actually implement and put these resources and suggestions into place. The founders who I've seen get the most value out of a program like TinySeed are the ones who are seeking to use all of the resources they have available. Another part of being coachable is being vulnerable. In an accelerator program, you're going to be receiving a lot of feedback, and you need to be able to lower your defenses and not explain away this feedback. For example, in TinySeed, we run masterminds. These are groups that meet every other week and are kind of like accountability groups. They meet to share the challenges that the founders are going through and help each other move forward. But these are only useful if you're willing to realize that you don't know everything and that different people from different perspectives might be able to provide an insight you haven't considered before. So if you are going to join an accelerator, remember to take advantage of all of the resources and be open to criticism. Number 4, you are fast and furious. This is a completely original, never used before term that I use to describe founders that just have this itch, this drive, this need to always be moving forward, to never be satisfied with the status quo. Founders like this have a way of just implementing things quickly. They move fast and they're comfortable with the fact that nothing's going to be perfect at the beginning, but they get started anyway. These founders realize that experimentation is key. Oftentimes, you don't know if something will work in the business without giving it a shot first. So give it a try and use what you learn as evidence moving forward. In a minute, I'll share my 1 red flag that says to me, you shouldn't be applying for an accelerator. But first, I wanted to share that our accelerator, TinySeed, will be opening up applications soon. Tiny Seed is a year-long accelerator program for ambitious B2B SaaS founders. Our program includes direct mentorship from some of the most prominent names in SaaS. You'll be getting direct feedback on topics you need to master, such as marketing, sales, hiring, funnels, pricing, and M&A. The program also includes masterminds and access to a community of like-minded SaaS founders sharing knowledge and growing together. And of course, you get the right amount of funding too. If you're a B2B SaaS founder who knows you could be growing faster if only you had access to the right resources, we'd love to see you apply for Tiny Seed. You can head over to tinyseed.com/apply, and applications are opening soon. Now, the reality is that not every company should apply for an accelerator. In fact, most probably shouldn't, which leads me to my red flag that a founder probably isn't a good fit for an accelerator program. And that is if you're just looking for funding. If you're just looking for funding, that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. It's just that an accelerator probably isn't your best option. And that's because an accelerator is never going to be the cheapest money that you can find. And that's because the main value proposition of an accelerator is not the funding. The real value you get is in the mentoring, the education, and the guidance to grow your business. Either way, whether you're considering an accelerator or just funding, there's a lot to take into consideration. Make sure to check out this video to avoid the biggest mistakes we see founders make in early stage funding. Thanks for watching.